For what I learned, and also the positive of it, of like, hey, I can hang with the best.
Yeah.
And that was the biggest lesson for me was,
we kind of become more tight.
Mm-hmm.
We lose the confidence of going for things that we usually feel comfortable going for in a reg game.
Mm-hmm.
And then as a result of that, we play even worse.
Yeah.
But what you just said about Ben Jones is that he did. Okay, that was good.
That's gonna look funny. I love that.
So from 4-5 to 5-0, it was kind of a blur. It sounded like you kind of just continue to improve, continue to play more games, more tournaments, and eventually just decided, you know what, I'm gonna go for a pro qualifier. And then the first one you went for, you actually qualified. Was that singles?
It was singles.
Singles.
Yeah.
And tell me more about the first ever pro main draw or qualifier, your first ever pro qualifier. You know, what was that like a lot harder than, let's say, the local tournaments you were playing?
Yeah, it was tough. Each round at that time was quite difficult. I think my last round ended up being a third gamer. I went and won 11-7 in the third or something like that. So it was a close match.
Okay.
And then my second round, I had played a seed because nobody knew who I was. So I could play pretty free. It didn't matter. I was just trying to see how good I was against these guys. And yeah, so once I had beaten the high seed, I was pretty confident, and then went into the third and ended up going 3 games because maybe I was a bit overconfident. So it didn't really, I really wasn't thinking about qualification and into the tournament. I was more so just trying to see how I stacked up against even the qualifying players that were in what's called the pro draw. And that was really my only goal for that whole tournament.
I see. But you ended up making it through to the main draw anyway. So
yes.
well
Yeah.
done on the
Thank
first run.
First pro tournament. Yep, it was in Arizona, the Desert Ridge Open.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that was which year was that?
February 2023.
2023. So
Yep.
this was just a year before you kind of played Ben Jones.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
Just a little over a year.
Yeah.
Fast forward now to the match that we opened up this episode with. Tell me, what was it like before this match? Did you study a lot? What kind of preparation did you go through?
That is a great question. You know, I was already feeling so good because I had played Roscoe Bellamy the round before, and he's a phenomenal player, and I played quite well against him. So I was just honestly like happy to be there, believe it or not, at that point. So for me, I had actually played Ben a few months earlier in Texas, and he had beat me pretty good, like 11-5, 11-2 or something like that.
Okay.
And I remember not playing that great against him, and I was thinking like, okay, here's a shot to play better. At least it couldn't have gone worse. So honestly, I was pretty loose going in and free. I didn't study much because I kind of played him already, so I knew it was going to be tough to play him. He's going to cover the net well. It's going to be tough to pass him. I might have to take 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 shots to pass him.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm going to try to do. And I told myself on the first ball, I'm going to try to go for like 10% more, because if he gets a good volley, I'm behind on the point. And once he's ahead on the point at the net, very rare that you're going to win. So that was what I was going through, what was going through my mind before I played him.
Okay.
Yeah, it's simple.
Okay, so you asked yourself, I'm going to have to do a little bit more, a little bit better than what I normally do. And also based on your prior experience playing against him, you kind of know a little bit about his game style. Mm-hmm. So you had some kind of an idea of how you want to go about it. Mm-hmm. Now, when the match actually started, 0-0, what was going through in your mind?
I was definitely nervous, but it wasn't a nervousness where, you know, I was conscious about it, but it wasn't overtaking my body. I was like, okay, it's game time, let's go. I was on center court. I had, you know, my loved ones watching, crowd watching, and I thought, okay, this is a cool moment. We're not in a back court somewhere where I can show what I've got.
Yeah.
I've got an opportunity right here. And, you know, the first few balls, I'm pretty sure I missed them, and I was like, okay, no, this is not how I want this to go. And then I started making them. And then once you start making the first pass on Ben Johns, you're like, okay, I just have to do this 10 more times and then 11 more times the next game.
Yeah, hitting more balls with purpose.
Exactly.
Okay,
Exactly. That's right. That's right. So for me, once he said 0-0, it was kind of like go time, and I just sort of tried to shut the world out and just hit the ball with more purpose and like 10% more on each ball, because I knew that he was going to get good volleys,
Yeah.
no matter what I hit.
Were you the first game? Were you ahead?
I was
in the game for most of the.
I was either up 9-5 or
Yeah.
9-6.
Yeah.
I think I went up 7-5, then maybe 7-6, then 8-6, then 9-6, and then everything was going well. I was playing good points at the net and at the baseline, and I started kind of fading back into the match, where I realized I'm 2 points away from winning this game, and that's where everything just unraveled. And I just started missing right on the net tape. I had a passing shot opportunity and I missed it to go up 10-6, a forehand. And then instead of me not thinking and just playing, I started thinking more. And then boom, the misses started happening.
Wow. So when you're 2 points away from beating him, it sounds like these thoughts, you're seeing the finishing line a little too early, it sounds like.
Yep.
And then because of that, a lot of random thoughts start creeping into your mind.
Yep.
And it start distracting you from actually playing the way you were playing, getting to that point in the first place.
Yep.
Were you aware of that? That was happening to you during the match?
Yep. And the tough thing about it was I didn't have any tools to lock myself back in. So I just started spiraling, because I started thinking about what I was thinking about. And then it started spiraling down.
Yeah.
And then once he had beaten me 11-9 in that game, I kind of felt like I let it slip away.
Yeah.
And it was really disappointing for me, but I thought, there's still another game.
Yeah.
Just try to reset. And that timeout was nice to just flush everything away. And in that second game, I was up, I think, 9-6 on him again.
Yeah. So
And
what
then-
happened?
Same thing. Same thing. The cursed 9 and 10.
Yeah.
Once you get to that, you start thinking like, okay, I win this game, goes to a third, this, that. And then also Ben Johns. One thing I noticed about him compared to any other player I had played at the time was when he's down,
Yeah.
he almost puts a little bit more on the ball with pace, spin, especially on his serve. I was returning really well the whole match.
Yeah.
And he started hitting his serve like a foot from the line with an insane amount of pace and an insane amount of spin. Like he was almost like a robot programmed to not feel emotion at any point throughout the match in terms of pressure.
Yeah.
He handled pressure better than anybody I'd ever played. For him, each point was just another point. And that was a big lesson I took away from that too, was I think a big reason he's a GOAT is the way he handles being down and coming back from a lost game, and I was really most impressed about that than any of his shot making. Really was mostly his mental side, even though he was kind of going ballistic on the court because of at the time we were playing with a Vulcan ball.
Yeah.
And you could see him audibly yell out and just kind of crash out.
Yeah.
And in my head, that was in my head too. I was like, wow, I'm making this guy crash out.
I must have done something good.
Well, not just me, but the ball too. But I'm doing something to make him crash out. Okay. But then you kind of get distracted from there too,
I see.
But the way he was able to pull it back in and still, perform even though he was missing some shots, it was impressive.
What was the most interesting about what you just said there was the fact that for a lot of us amateur players, I feel like when we start losing, when we start not doing well in a match, we kind of become more tight.
Mm-hmm.
We lose the confidence of going for things that we usually feel comfortable going for in a reg game.
Mm-hmm.
And then as a result of that, we play even worse.
Yeah.
But what you just said about Ben Johns is that he did the opposite.
Yeah.
When he was down,
Yeah.
when the other guy is only 2 points away from winning the game, he cranked himself up by a notch.
Yeah.
He started serving bigger.
Yeah.
He put more pace, even more spin on the ball. He was going for a bit more.
Yeah.
That's
Yep.
so interesting.
It
do,
is.
Do you do that yourself?
I'm trying to start to implement that, but it's still, I would say I still get nervous when I'm down, either a game point or close to being down a game point.
Yeah.
But when I think about it, in his position, he could see it as, oh, this number 20 ranked player is about to beat me in a game. I don't want to lose to this 20 ranked player. I'm guessing from his side, he saw it as, I'm the 2 seed, I'm the GOAT. It's on him to close this out, not me. It's on him to close this out if he wants it that badly. So I'm just going to not let him do it. And I'm going to make it really tough for him to do it. And I think that's the sort of like amazing mentality that he has and that you need to have, is when you're down and you're like, okay, let them earn it. Not be scared to lose, but let them earn it.
Yeah.
You know? And that doesn't necessarily mean hitting the ball harder. It just means upping your focus and intensity. Just 5-10%. And I think that's what he does really, really well.
So I'd imagine now was probably going to be like a key moment for you. That could have been your potential breakthrough into the pro scene at the time. If you had beaten Ben Jones, which was very close, you'd have headlined for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, due to the lack of mental tools to cope with what happened to you,
Yep.
you lost very narrowly.
Yep.
How did you feel right after the match ended?
I was definitely disappointed in myself. I was definitely, for a bit upset with myself. I mean, I still think about that match.
Even today?
Even today.
After 2 years later?
2 years later. But now I don't think about it in a negative way. I've kind of reframed on how I think about it. And then after a little while, the negative emotions started to fade away, and I started to take the lessons from it. For what I learned, and also the positive of it, of like, hey, I can hang with the best.
Yeah.
And that was the biggest lesson for me, was this is something I could try to pursue, because it's not like I got slaughtered in front of everybody.
Right.
That would have really stung.
That was very respectable. You put up a great shot.
I put up a fight. I hit some good shots. I had some good moments. And I didn't feel overwhelmed. And to me, that was the biggest lesson I took, was like, hey, I could do this. I can hang with this guy. I know it. I believe it. I've shown it. Let me take that instead and run with that.
I see. I know you've been working with a mental coach, as your weekly kind of routine.
Yeah.
Developing those mental tools to help you deal with those situations when they occur again. Knowing what you know now, if you were to go back in time, what would you say to yourself, your 2-year younger self? How would you have dealt with it differently if you were to replay that match today, knowing what you know?
I think when it was either 9-all or maybe when he was going on a run, I would have probably called a timeout.
Call a timeout, guys. It's important.
Call a timeout, and then done a couple exercises to reset my nerves, reset my mind back when I was sitting on the bench. Because when you're playing, pickleball goes so fast. It's such a momentum game that it can slip away from you in a heartbeat. And I just didn't play the timeouts well. That's why the timeouts are there, is to stop that momentum and try to give yourself a chance to stay alive. So that's probably, from a technicality aspect, what I would do. But it would be more so forgiving myself a lot faster after the match, and kind of being able to reframe and take the positives from it, as opposed to beating myself up for 6 months after that. I was beating myself up pretty bad.
Yeah. Okay. Any specific exercise you would like to, you can share with?
Just breathing, honestly.
Breathing?
Because when you're in pressure situations, your heartbeat is just like beating out of your chest. Mm-hmm. And it's just important to just like relax and slow the heartbeat down. So that's probably what I would do, is I'd go to the bench, close my eyes, breathe in for 4 seconds, hold my breath for 4 seconds, and then breathe out for 4 seconds. Do that a few times. You can even do it 8-8-8. And that just slows your breath down, slows your breathing down, and just calms you down a little bit. And then while you do that, you can kind of just zone out and honestly just smile, because like realize where you are in the moment.
Yeah.
Oftentimes we get tunnel vision when we're in a job interview or a really important meeting or a really important match. And you can just kind of try to zoom out for just a second and realize, like, where you are, you know, how cool it is to be there.
Awesome.
So just those little things, as cliche as it sounds, it does help a lot, and it helps you just relax, because it's hard to perform when you're not relaxed and confident.